Okay, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus Park. Happy New Year. It's our first episode back from our break. We went to New York and had a cool vacation, but just want to wish everybody a happy New Year. Hope your guys' holidays was good. First thing I want to do is shout out our sponsors. First, we have Defend Hawaii, and they've been with us since the start. If you go to their website, defendhawaii.com, check out what they have. They also have a store in Windward Mall called No One. But go to defendhawaii.com, use promo code ATBPOD upon checkout. You'll get 15% off your entire purchase order. Check what they got. They're just dropping some new stuff for after the holidays, so go check them out. Next, we have IREP Detail Supply, and they're your one stop shop superstore for everything you need to detail your car, truck, van, or whatever vehicle you have. They have a store in Temple Valley Shopping Center. They also have one in Vegas. But you can go to their website, irepdetailsupply.com, promo code ATBPOD upon checkout, and you'll get 15% off your entire purchase order. Next, we have Hawaii Candy Factory, and they have a bunch of crazy snacks, gushers, gummies, lihimui snacks, local treats. You see their brand everywhere. They're in the cute packaging called NOMS. But go to hawaiicandyfactory.com, promo code ATBPOD upon checkout, and you'll get 10% off whatever you order. Last but not least, we have our medicinal mushroom company, and they're our locally based medicinal mushroom company here from Hawaii. And it's medmushroomhawaii.com or medmushroom Hawaii. And right now they have four tinctures of extracted mushrooms, and each one of these mushrooms have a medicinal property. There's lion's mane, chaga, turkey tail, and red reishi. I take all four religiously. I put in my coffee or drip it under my tongue. I take the red reishi to get good night's sleep. But go check them out at medmushroomhigh.com. Check out each one of these mushrooms properties and see which one you want to try out. Or try out all four. They're all good. But if you go to their website, use promo code ATBPOD upon checkout, all capitals, you get 45% off your first tincture of whatever mushrooms you want. Thank you guys for being patient while we're on break. We shall be dropping episodes pretty much every week unless something comes up. I have a My daughter has a big volleyball tournament in a week, so we might skip that week. But other than that, we'll be dropping episodes every week. Go tell your friends, like, subscribe, and leave a comment on our YouTube or on our Instagram, and it will be greatly appreciated. All right. Aloha. Okay, this week I'm welcoming for the first time on a podcast, and it's a brand new year, and I'm super stoked to have this guy on. I've been asking him to come on. I've been asking his parents to help him jump on my show, but he's one of the newest prospects coming out of Hawaii in the mixed martial arts scene, and this kid impressed me from the moment I met him, and I've been a fan of him since meeting him. Jasiah Kamakele, what's up, man?
Hi.
Bruh, I've watched you fight. I watched you train like just at the beach and stuff, and you are next level. I am super impressed with your work ethic and for one, your fighter IQ and the passion you have for MMA is it's refreshing to see. It's a trip, man. How long have you been into this martial arts thing?
Um, like I think like 10 years, like
Oh
10.
wow. So
Yeah.
you've been doing it for a while, huh?
Yeah.
Well, when you were growing up, what kind of sports did you play before like
I played like I did like baseball and like flag football and stuff. And I did like soccer, but like I didn't really like any of them. Like I would kind of just be like playing around, like
yeah.
messing around like during the games and stuff.
And what was the first martial arts you started? I would assume jiu-jitsu or boxing.
Um, The first thing I started training was boxing, but it was like in my uncle's garage, and we would like hit mitts and stuff. And then after that, he told me I should start doing jujitsu at a place called Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Kailua. And then
Mm.
I went, and then once I went, like after the first day, I was like addicted. Like I liked it a lot.
Oh, nice. So that's how you found your passion.
Yeah,
And how old were you? Around 10 years old.
yeah, like 10.
Oh,
I
that's
remember
cool.
I was on, I was trying to think like if I should do wrestling or jujitsu. So I was watching like highlights on YouTube, and I was having a hard time because I was watching like a bunch of cool highlights, and then I ended up picking jujitsu.
Oh, and you stuck with it ever since.
Yeah, but there was a lot of times where I would leave like to get ready for like boxing competitions or kickboxing or wrestling, and then I would come back and my coaches would be like, "Oh, where were you? You were gone for like a couple months," and I was like, "Oh, I had a kickboxing fight or something."
Oh, so you kind of more well-rounded than people know, huh? Like your base is jujitsu, but you'd kickbox and um you do boxing matches also.
Yeah, yeah. I think from my fights, people probably just think I'm like a ground person, but I don't know. I feel like I just chose to go to the ground because like if I have a choice between to grapple and to strike, I kind of always pick grappling because it's like safer.
Yeah. Well, I've been watching your two amateur fights that were in Hawaii, and bro, it was fun to watch. It's the demeanor you had just walking to the cage. That's stuff you can't be taught. Like you just had that focus, calm. Like you didn't look excited. You wasn't trying to amp yourself up. You just like, okay, I'm walking to here. I'm gonna do my job, and it's kind of cool to see someone at your age have that demeanor or mental strength that a lot of veteran fighters have. Like you're always like that when you got to compete. Like you weren't phased. It didn't seem like you were phased.
Um, when I first started competing, I would be like tripping out. Like when I first started, like I was like oh, like I was breathing and my hands were sweating, and then and then over like a lot of competitions, then it got better and better. And then, but like I got to a point where I was kind of mad because I was like, I've been competing so long and I'm still getting nervous, and it made me
Yeah.
like irritated. So I just decided like, okay, I'm just not gonna be nervous. And then when I compete, I just wouldn't think like nothing is even thinking in my brain. Like I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just like present.
Oh, that's a good way to describe it. I know I would get nervous and it's that feel the moment before the moment and like when you're getting your hands taped and stuff like that. Like
Yeah, yeah,
those feelings I miss, but um you competed in jiu-jitsu at a young age, like jiu-jitsu tournaments like when you're like 10 and stuff.
yeah.
So you've been around it for a long time. How has the evolution of Hawaii been in the jiu-jitsu circuit? Because, bro, I remember before, like, jiu-jitsu wasn't that popular, and then all of a sudden they have like Naga, the Triple Crown, and all these big tournaments, and oh, the gyms are packed, and there's like a line down the street just to weigh in. Like, since you've been there at such an early age, have you seen the jiu-jitsu community grow in Hawaii?
Um, I think like I don't think I was training like long enough for like to like notice anything. Like it still kind of seems the same. Like even when I go to jujitsu, like when I show up early sometimes there's the kids classes that I used to be in. And when I
Yeah.
watch like oh what the heck like that felt like it was like not even that long ago. Like they're all like little kids and I remember I used to be in the classes.
Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, it's a good base to start as a young competitor. The competition wise, has it grown? Like you fight like choke kids back in the day, or would be just like couple kids and then you're in the medal rounds already?
Um, I think I think there might be more people now because maybe it's just because I'm in the adult divisions now. But
Yeah.
like before, I would have like two or three matches in like each division. But now I feel like there's like maybe a little bit more. But I don't know if it's just because I'm adult now.
Oh, I seen some videos of your recent jiu-jitsu tournaments and bruh, you've been kind of thinking outside the box with these tournaments. You fighting like guys that are heavyweights and stuff. Like, what are you trying to do?
Um, I I just I like that feeling like that scary feeling of like oh like you're supposed to lose like because the guy's ginormous. Like I kind of like it because everyone thinks you're gonna lose, and like if you come out on top, then it's really cool. But I had like two matches like that. The guys were big, but
Yeah.
I felt like I did good. Yeah,
Yeah, your dad was explaining to me. He'd send me the videos and explain to me. He's like, oh yeah, he like fight these guys that are super big because it tests you more than just fighting guys like your own weight class and stuff, which is cool, but it's kind
yeah,
of dangerous too, right? These guys could just
yeah,
fling you around.
yeah. Like it makes me really like cautious of the way I move and the way I land. Because like
Yeah.
if I land a certain way, I could probably like break something or like they're really big. But it's good because it makes when I go against people my size, it makes it a lot easier.
Oh yeah. That's definitely for sure. Um, so these tournaments you fight in multiple weight classes or like there's like what gi, no gi and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's I enter in like gi, no gi, and then the absolute for
Yeah.
the absolute is like the open weight. Um, I had a tournament. I entered in gi, no gi, and then no gi absolute and gi absolute. But like, I don't know, maybe I'll do that again. But like, oh, I was really tired. Like after two divisions, like I was like laying on the mat and like my eyes were like burning. Like, you know, when you're really tired and your eyes are like watery and burning, like I
Yeah.
was like that. And I was like laying down and I was gonna go to sleep. And then like they were calling my name. And then I had to go on like I went on the mat straight from like lying down and I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe I entered too much divisions.
That's nuts. That's a long day, but what weight do you normally compete at? At least for jiu-jitsu.
Um I think the weight class is 137 to 147. I do that one.
And what, you got a cut for that or just that's kind of your natural?
No, I just show up and weigh in.
Oh, nice. When you fight MMA, what would be your ideal weight class to fight in?
Um, like 35 or 25, but like my first fight was at 35, and then my
Yeah.
fight after that was a week later, so that one was at 45, and I did that one at 45 too, because the first fight I had, the guy that I fought the week after fought too, and he was
Yeah.
supposed to fight at 35, and he weighed in right before me, and he stepped on the scale and he weighed in at 145, and I was like, I swear he's supposed to be fighting 35, and the doctor was like, oh, we have a sauna. Do you want to try cut the weight? And he was like, oh, nah, no, it's okay. And then the other guy accepted the fight. So then after I won, um, these guys were talking to me and they were like, "Oh, you want to fight him next week?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they said 35, and I was like, "Oh no, just make it 45." Because if I cut to 35, the guy's just gonna do the same thing
Yep,
and just weigh
exactly.
in. Yeah,
That's
yeah. So
smart.
I just,
That way
yeah,
you didn't have to cut. But it's like in Hawaii, it's like some of these guys, they don't take it serious and it's like what are you gonna do? Then you don't say you're matched up against somebody, they don't make weight because they're not taking it serious, and then you either got to accept the fight or not accept the fight. If you don't accept it, like there's not enough fights in Hawaii
Yeah,
to be able like, oh, I'll just fight one in a couple weeks. It's like, oh, you
yeah,
gotta wait a couple months. So it's hard
yeah,
to not accept it. And if it's amateur, like nobody's gonna look at, oh, the guy never weighed in correctly or what. It's gonna be just win loss, you know what I mean? So it's kind
yeah,
of hard, but you want to compete, you know what I mean? So that was smart that you just said, 45 because I know he ain't
yeah.
gonna make
I
it. I
think,
don't gotta cut.
yeah, yeah. I
Did he
think a
make?
lot
Did
of
that guy
people
make
they
45?
yeah, yeah. He made
Oh, okay.
45, but so like a lot of people, they especially in amateur, they were like, I think they sign up for a weight class and they know they're gonna miss weight and they just show up and miss weight because they know like the guy's not gonna go, oh, okay, no fight. So they just fight anyways.
Yeah.
So like I think that's kind of like messed up because the other guy's
Yeah.
cutting weight and you know like they're not gonna cancel it because like
Yeah.
you train so long to get ready. Yeah.
Especially like I said, there's you don't know when your next one's gonna be because you had like two back to back and you haven't fought in Hawaii since, huh? Since the X one.
Yeah. The after that, my next one was in Idaho.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember we were trying to figure out how we could get there, but it was on a Thursday.
Oh,
Yeah. The first fight you had was Destiny was at Blaisdell, right?
yeah,
That was your first MMA fight, like full MMA.
yeah. I
So
wanted to me when I turned 18, but I don't think there was any events like coming up, so I had to wait.
yeah. So if you're amateur fighting MMA, what would be the difference between that and then fighting pro other than the pay? Are there certain rules you can or cannot do?
Um, I think in pro you can elbow and you can knee. Well, no,
Mm,
in amateur you can knee too. There's different rules like in when I went to Idaho for King of the Cage, they told me I could elbow, but when I fought here, I think they said you can. I think just different promotions has like
mm.
different rules.
So fighting in Hawaii for the first MMA, that's kind of big time. You got to fight in Blaisdell, and it was pretty. It
Yeah,
had a lot of people, and bro, you seem like super calm and relaxed. That was your first MMA fight. How was that experience for you in your opinion? Because in my head, it looked like you've done it a million times before.
it was. I was like, I was thinking like, holy smokes, from when I first started training, I would always like think like I would like I was always thinking like, oh, I can't wait till I turn 18 because I always wanted to fight MMA, but I couldn't. And I tried to get pancration fights too, which is like MMA, but we never could find any.
Hmm.
So like when I turned 18, I was like, oh, like it seems like it took long, but like the time also flew by. And yeah, I was just like excited. I felt really ready. Like I felt like there's no ways, like maybe there is, but even if there is, I don't care. There's no ways this guy was training from like as long as I was and cared as much as I did to fight MMA. And like even if he did, I still wouldn't. I still feel like my the way I care and train is like probably way more than him.
I think it's a lot way more than most people that are in the sport. And that fight was pretty evident you were the better guy. Like you double leg took him down and choked him out. It was like a textbook clinic watching that fight. And for your first time, it was pretty cool to see. But what did you see going into that fight? Like you just knew like I'm gonna take this guy down and that was it. It seemed pretty easy.
Um, I didn't really. I couldn't find any tape of the guy because we're both 0-0.
Oh,
But I just I was just thinking, well, like, oh. my grappling is probably better than his. So I don't know. I was just really present. Like my plan was to just like not have a plan and to just be
Yeah.
really in the moment. And I don't know, I just shot and then the match was over. Like it was all really fast. And then when it was done, I was like all happy because I was like, oh, like I didn't get like hurt or anything.
Yeah, you didn't even get touched, I don't think. What was the feeling after? Like, were you like, oh shoot, I really fought MMA and won, or was it like super gratifying, or was it like, it's not that big a deal?
It was like it felt like it felt like I walked backstage and I was like, oh, what the heck? Like like I was like for weeks or like pretty much like for years, like I was just thinking about it so much, and then the match was like a minute long, like all of those years, and then it was like a minute, and I was like, oh, and then I walked backstage, and me and everybody was like shaking hands, and I was like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah, that was super cool. Yeah, you came out in your shorts and sat on the floor and watched your friends fight. It was, it's like you didn't even like do anything. I'm like, bruh, you realize you just went and fought and won, and it was like, it was just another day in the office. Seemed like the
Yeah,
second
even
fight you
though
had.
first,
What is that? Go ahead.
oh, even though that was my first MMA fight, I feel like I was training MMA for really long.
Yeah,
So I kind of felt like, oh, whoever I go against, even though it's 0-0, it's not really like 0-0 because like I've been
yeah,
training MMA for really long.
yeah. And you got to compete kickboxing and stuff. That
Yeah,
competition, when you make that walk, regardless of if what it is, it does do something for your experience. And you fought like
yeah,
kickboxing in the mainland too, right?
yeah. One time in Tennessee,
Yeah, how was that?
it was good. I had one fight. It's like a national championship, and like everyone's brackets that I went with was like full, and my
Oh,
bracket had like I. So I was like, oh, perfect. If I win once, then they'll be like, oh, national champ.
yeah.
So so I just had one fight and it went good. I won by knockout, and that was my first time ever dropping somebody like with a headshot, like ever. Like I didn't even feel it. I threw uppercut, or I was throwing left hooks to the body, and I knew it was hurting him because he was making noises. So I faked it and I threw uppercut, and I didn't even know it landed. Like I thought it missed. Like I didn't even feel it, but I think it just nipped his chin, and then he
Oh.
fell, and and then I was like, holy smokes, I just dropped him.
Oh, so you're national champion then.
Yeah, I guess, but like it was only one fight.
Hey, still on the record books it says national champion, so you gotta own it. It's good for your resume, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I put it on my resume for when I apply to jobs.
Yep. Bruh, watching your second MMA fight, and that was at that was at Schofield. Did you know that was like the first time I've ever been on base, just like over there? It was kind of weird. And it was on base. It
Oh,
was at 604 inside of it looked like a ballroom. And it was pretty cool. The
yeah,
X1 had put on a good production, but that fight too, like it was better in my opinion for you because you got ring time or cage time. How was that
yeah.
for you being in a longer fight? Because that one was second round you won, huh?
Yeah. That one, that one was good. I I never experienced, or in practice I did a lot, like experience striking in MMA gloves, but I
Hmm.
never really, only like in practice there's times where you go hard and like if you get caught you can get knocked out. But
Yeah.
like that was the first time I ever fought someone in MMA gloves where they're giving like full
Oh,
intention on
yeah.
knocking me. And like the punches like they don't even they just look like blurs because like it's so fast and the gloves are so small. And when I was blocking, even though like I felt like I blocked everything, but even though when I was blocking it, I was like, oh, this is dangerous. Like if one lands, I feel like you can get knocked out.
Oh yeah.
That's why
But
like my heart was like because it's just like inches.
oh yeah. You putting yourself in the fire zone, man. But it
Yeah,
didn't seem like you were rattled. I mean, and you got hit. I seen you get hit a couple times, and
yeah,
you that's the test when you get hit. When you're pounding out somebody or like everything's going your way, that's all gravy. But when you gotta fight through adversity, that's when you kind of really test your skills. And you got hit a couple times, you didn't get shook. Like you stayed focused. It didn't bother you. You didn't like wince or you just kind of went with it, return your own shots back and did your thing, took them down and bro, like you said, once you take them down, it's kind of game over from what at least from what I've seen, you know what I mean? Is that how it played out when in your head when you were fighting this dude?
yeah. I was watching tape on him, and when I was watching tape, like the one thing I noticed was like, okay, like this guy, like he literally like he just doesn't care. Like I watch all his fights, and he just comes out swinging. And like even when he gets like I don't know, I guess he just doesn't care if he gets knocked out because like he was swinging and the guys would catch him, drop him, and he'd get up and he'd just be swinging again. So I was thinking like there's not part of my plan wouldn't be to try like you know some people they throw crazy, but if you catch them with a good one, then they'll kind of like respect it and they stop. I knew
Yeah.
with this guy, I could catch him with like a head kick, and he just, I don't know, he's like crazy or something. He just keeps going.
Yeah. But to be in that moment and for one, that's a trip that you even know that and you can break down a fighter just from watching tape because usually that takes years to kind of understand and being a veteran to understand. You're a real student of the game in all aspects. What do you think brought your mindset to that? Like how have you I mean, granted it's your passion, but how did you develop that kind of fighter IQ?
I think it's just because I, I think part of it is because I started with jiu-jitsu, and I feel like jiu-jitsu is more of like a lifestyle than a lot of other sports. Like a lot of other sports are, but jujitsu you can do it all your life, so they treat it more as like a lifestyle. I feel like with a lot of like really physical sports, they treat it as like you're only doing it for a certain amount of time because when you get older, like wrestling or judo, like you don't really see like really old people doing it because you can
Yeah.
get hurt.
Yeah.
So it's just like a lifestyle, and like I feel like I just approach it like slow and steady. Like I don't even really think about um like when I'm gonna fight. Like I just train and like the time just flies by, and next thing you know I'm fighting because I just learn every day, and like I just like I just like fall into it. Like I don't know, I like all the details and stuff.
It seems like it. I mean, we were at your birthday barbecue and you're training on the side, and your dad explains to me, like, oh, this kid, he don't, that's all he wants to do is train. What do you think develop your work ethic like that? Because most kids, like, bruh, especially at your age, they ain't trying to train all day. Like, the work it's like what they say everybody wants to be a champion until it's time to do champion shit, and you've been training like a champion for years with that mindset and work ethic that is at such a professional elite level, but you're young and starting out. Like how did you develop that mindset and work ethic?
I think it just built momentum over time. Like when I first started training the kids classes at the jiu-jitsu place I train, I think it was like 3 days a week. So I'd only be training like 3 days a week, and like some days I would have to like miss for like family stuff. And then like over time, it would be like 4 days, 5 days, and then it just grew and grew. And then now it's kind of like ridiculous. Like now I just like I train and then like I sleep and like I'm just like I'm training like a lot. Like now it's like I'm training more than doing anything else.
Yeah. But it's I guess that's like is what you love to do. And
Yeah.
it's hard to find your passion at a young age and then it's like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Um, you got to fight in the mainland, like you said, for King of the Cage. How was that experience? Because now you're going into like, I mean, your first couple fights, you had fans, bro. You had your whole family, all your uncles, and
Yeah.
everybody was there. I was there. Then you had to go to the mainland where you didn't know nobody. Your what? Your dad was in your corner, huh?
Yeah.
How was that, Brian? Like, how did you even get picked to fight King of the Cage?
Um, my dad was talking with Kai Kamaka because they're friends and they like hang out and stuff. So
Yeah,
Kai told him, and then my dad told me, and I think that was right after my X1 fight, like not too long after. My dad called me and then he told me about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to do it. And then he told me the guy's name, and I started watching tape immediately. And then, oh, Idol is really nice. I like it, and the people are super nice too. Like they kind of seem like Hawaii people, but it's like different. Like it's like Hawaii people, but like with like a different culture. Like I don't know,
yeah.
but the people are really nice.
Well, that's cool, man. And how was competing over there when not being around like your fans or family or how was like walking into the cage in a foreign environment fighting one dude who's probably from there or whatever and it's like okay, this is the me against the world kind of thing.
Um, I felt I felt good. Like I kind of like the feeling of like when you like go in and like he's like the hometown guy and like I don't know. I like that feeling in like different things. Like even in jiu-jitsu when I go against bigger people, like I always like that feeling where it's like you're supposed to lose. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's good. Like it feels better than if you're supposed to win and then you win.
Yeah. So how did you beat this guy in the King of the Cage?
Um, in the first round, we were moving around, striking a little bit, and then I took him down. And then, oh, the first time I took him down, and once he hit the ground, he grabbed the cage and he pulled himself up, and then the
Uh,
ref didn't do anything, and I was like, oh, and then I took him down again, and I was just controlling him, punching. I didn't really posture up because I didn't want him to like explode and stand up, and I did that the first round, and then the second round, and then the third round, and I
so you pretty much Khabib'd him.
yeah, but with less damage. I wish I still have to work on a lot of stuff, and I want to like be able to like punch people and pound people a lot without them getting up. Because
Yeah.
like with this guy, I could feel it. Like if I was to let go and try punch, he would explode and get up.
Oh, so you're just posturing to make sure he wouldn't get up and just land your shots.
Yeah, yeah,
One thing I did notice about your fight is you're smart enough to know what you gotta do to win. Like it's like you don't have that. Oh, I just gonna stand and bang, and you know what I mean. The local mentality is like, oh, this is how I'm gonna win. This is what I gotta do. I'm gonna do it right now, and boom, done. And that's the best way. You don't let pride or emotion get into it. Cause like that second fight when he caught you, you could have just decided, like you said, oh, I'm just gonna trade in, bang with this guy and
yeah.
go all out. It's like, nope, I take him down and do what I do. And That takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah, I something I learned was like right now I'm 19 and I want to be fighting for a long time. And I was thinking like if I was to fight and always like trade or like even just trade a little bit, like say if I only got punched like 5 times in one fight, which is like really little, but I
Yeah.
fight 20 times in my career, even though I'm probably gonna fight more than that if I don't get like injured or something, then that's like 100 punches at least, or like 50 or whatever. Like that's a lot of damage. Like it's little bit every time. I rather win and like I'm all like
Oh,
healthy and I
gee.
can like hang out with my family and stuff.
Yo, that's the
Yeah,
best way. That was the best way. I would always feel the same. Like I ain't trying to bang and like a couple of my teammates that was their mentality. I going bang and trade and I get hit and I'm gonna go all out. I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna get not hit and hit the guy as many times as I can without getting hit and look pretty in the after party.
yeah.
Plus
I
two,
feel like
like
fighting
yeah, you trying to piss
like
blood and kind of shampoo your hair because your head is all lumped. Yeah, that's not the business, bro.
yeah. I feel like fighting like that, it's kind of it's like a waste because you train so much to like develop skill and stuff, and then if you when you go to fight, you just do that. It's like a waste of all that training because like someone who never trained before can just throw.
Yep, exactly. You got to train, and I seen pictures and videos of you being able to train in Vegas with some big time pro athletes that are at what was it, Couture's gym?
Yeah, yeah, extreme couture.
Yeah, how was that? And how was that experience? And then how did you kind of feel you did against like top level competitors?
It was good. I um Kai Kamaka, like I want to thank him because like he was just like taking me along the whole time and bringing me to like pro classes. And then when I'd go to the classes, I would be like looking around and I was like, holy smokes, like I see all these people on TV and I'm like in the same class as them. And like it was super cool. And when I sparred, we had to partner up for drills and I looked around and I everybody had partners. I don't I think nobody wanted to partner with me because like they're all like pros and like high level, and I
Yeah.
probably like just looked like a kid, and I was an amateur. And then there was this other guy there named Kobe. He's really good, and he partnered with me, and oh, it was good. He's a really good wrestler, and after I went with him, he told me he was like, "Oh, you're gonna be great. Like, just keep it up. You're gonna be amazing." And I was like, "Oh, like that felt good."
Yeah, I mean, like you going up against guys that do it all the time, but it's like they're doing it like you said with each other. Like you're in a classroom with pros, that's only going to help you. So for you to be in
Yeah,
that class and to kind of feel it out, you felt like you belonged. It was like, okay, like
yeah.
I'm on a path on this level.
I felt like after training, I was like, oh, I think I'm good because like I was like thinking like, oh, these guys are like UFC fighters and stuff, and then after training, I was like, oh, I think I'm pretty good because like I felt like I did pretty good.
Oh,
I
that's
asked
good.
Sean this far, and he was like, oh no, get away, you're too small, I knock you out, and I said, oh okay,
At least you asked, bro.
yeah,
There's a lot of Hawaii fighters that come out of that gym. I actually had a couple on. I had Puni on and Puna on my show, and they fight out of that gym. And it's it seems like that's a good local base for Hawaii fighters to go to because it's so close. I mean, Vegas is what, the ninth island. So you ever thought about moving up there and being like, oh, I'm gonna like train for real with these guys full time?
Yeah, I my plan was like when I turn, oh, I don't know. I wasn't planning on like telling people, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter. But like I was planning when I turn like on my once I turn 21 on my birthday, I'll turn pro. And from now until then, I wanted to like work and just like save money and like right now I'm doing personal training. So I was thinking maybe before I move there, I can like collect clients in Vegas. So when I move, I can train there and I can do personal training and like just set things up. Cause like I I want to go there and train and get to the next level. I feel like when I show up to the practices, like when I train here, like a lot of people are focused, but some people is just like they just finish work and like they just want to
Yeah.
train. Like they don't want to be like fighters. But when I went to Vegas, like when I trained with Kai, he already had like things in his head that he wanted to work on. And I think he had notes on his phone. And I was like, oh, what the heck? That's what I do. And like there's literally like no one that always like matches like my like I'm like focused and I want to do this and that. And he did that. And like everyone comes to training with like something in their mind that they want to do and like intention and purpose. Like they're not just like going through the motions.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want to move here because everyone here is like me.
Yeah, a room full of lions. And like you said, like Hawaii, a lot of people train like just to stay in shape or just to move around and just to spar or whatever, but they're not full-time fighters. They're not
Yeah.
like where do you train at hybrid?
Um, I trained that hybrid for a couple years, and then I always trained at Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Kailua for like a long time, like since I was like 10. And then I trained with Harris. I trained with him at hybrid, but
Mhm.
he moved over to Gracie's now to teach the
Okay.
MMA. Now I just do both at one place, but I also cross train too, like at Hawaii Elite for sparring and stuff.
Oh, nice. With Charles then.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
still
yeah.
even my high school at Kailua when it's wrestling season, then I go to train with them because like I feel like a lot of people probably think like oh like high schoolers like adults is like better, but a lot of high schoolers are way better than adults at wrestling.
Oh, that's smart. Plus, too, you can teach the up and comer some stuff too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I go to wrestling and I spar and stuff, and then from there I'll go to jiu-jitsu, and then after that I'll do MMA. Oh, before I used to go to wrestling and do like the whole practice, and then go to jiu-jitsu and do the whole practice, and then MMA. But after a while, like I learned like oh, like I would be like so burnt out. Like by the time I'm at MMA, I'm just getting like beat up. So I changed it to where like I go wrestling and I only go towards the end at sparring. And then I go to jiu-jitsu and I go really light, but then I spar. Like that's something I learned was like managing my training load because
Oh
I used to
yeah.
always think like you just train more, train hard, like it was like a movie or something. But that that's not the way it works.
Yeah, it isn't, bro. You gotta respect your body. Plus, too, that's when you get injured. You know what I mean? That's how you can get injured. Do
Yeah.
you do you take time off at all? Like, do you rest?
Yeah, like today I barely like ever like rarely ever rest during the week, but today I'm resting or after this I'm gonna do bag work and jog, but like that's pretty much resting because I usually do like a lot more. But something I'm learning is to like listen to my body because
Yeah.
like I'm trying to like change my mind for a long time I was like thinking like you just train more and more, and like the more is better. And then through like time and experience, I learned that's not how it works. So now I'm like trying to change the way my mind thinks, but it's still hard because sometimes
Yeah.
I'm resting and I'm like it's like side of me is like, no, like you gotta train more, like oh, you gotta be the best or whatever. And then the other side is like you can't be emotional. You just have
Yeah.
to actually be like logical
Yep.
and
And resting your body is when your body heals, and that's when you'll be able to push it more. But as you get older, you'll learn that. Right now, you're what 19 and invincible, bro. That's the way I feel now. It's like, oh, I gotta freaking stretch out before I go use the bathroom in the middle of the night. But
I right.
you gotta like you said, like you want to be able to take less damage, so so body, what is it called when you recovery, you got to do recovery. So what kind of stuffs do you do for recovery?
I something I learned was like the pyramid, which is like the bottom is the most important, and then it's like a triangle, and it gets smaller and smaller, and the top is like the least important stuff.
Yeah.
I think number one is like training load and sleep. So like your training schedule
Yeah.
and sleeping the right amount, and then like nutrition and hydration, like drinking water and electrolytes and eating good. And then after that is all like the fancy stuff, like ice baths and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
But um before I had it like all messed up. Like I would like do like all the fancy stuff, but not like the important stuff. But now I just focus on like the basics.
That's smart. It's good to be doing that at your age too, man. Like sleep honestly is the best thing for your body. No matter what. Sleep, like you said,
Yeah.
water. Yep, that's the best thing for your body. I don't understand, like, okay, you fight around 135, 125. In my head, I don't understand how you can make weight with the way your mata cooks, because your mata is probably one of the best cooks I have ever met. I've tasted things I didn't even know existed. Poi stew. Like your mom, she owns Ono Eats by Casey, and right, that's what it is. Ono
Yeah, yeah.
Her garlic shrimp, for the one I like is the spicy lily koi garlic shrimp, and for me, that's the best on earth. I put that up against Giovanni's or any of those North Shore ones. To me, that her shrimp is better than any other garlic shrimp in on the planet. That being said, I also had her poi stew, her beef stew, her chili. I had her patele stew. Oh, what else? Oh, porgy bean soup, bruh. Everything she made. Oh, the squid luau, her whole Hawaiian food too. So anybody needs catering, go hit up Ono Eats by Casey, because by far her squid luau. We had it at the our daughter's volleyball Christmas party, and even my dad thought that was fire. But how do you not get overweight having
Uh,
accessibility to your mom's cooking every day?
um, when I was younger, I would eat a lot. Like I would just eat whatever my mom makes. But then over time, like as I got more into like as I learned more, I would see the way they eat, and then I was like, oh, I don't eat like that, so I had to change
Yeah.
little by little. But my mom would get frustrated because like she would make dinner and she would like spend a long time making dinner, and then everyone she would be making everyone's food, and then I would be like cooking like I don't know like eggs or something, and
Uh,
she's like she would be like all pissed like, but But over time, like now she's just like used to it. Like but I still eat my mom's food. It just it just depends what it is. Like
Yeah.
koisu is, but like other stuff, maybe not.
Yeah. Well, honestly, that takes discipline because, bro, if I lived at your house, I'd probably weigh half grand because I'd be mopping all that every day. Yeah, she's good, bro. Super good. Um, what I wanted to ask you is like you said that you are doing personal training and you're working at UFC gym, but now you're being able to train people like one-on-one kind and like you become their personal trainer and you can start getting your own clients.
Yeah.
That's super good.
Um,
Like what do you train them?
it depends what they want to work on. Like right now, I have like one client and there's like four people. I still have to like schedule time to it and stuff. But I started like 2 weeks ago, and like it's good. Like I already have a bunch of people that want to set up stuff. But right now, I just have this lady, and we're working on like boxing, and it's just like basics. Like it's really easy to teach because it's not like I'm teaching like really advanced stuff. Like it's just like
Yeah.
stance. It's like slowly growing and growing.
That's cool and I think you'll be good at that because you're going to be teaching something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like not many personal trainers are living that lifestyle. Like you're walking it like you talk it. You can train people how to do these things because you're actually doing it and you're fighting. You're a fighter. It's hard to be able to train or teach somebody something that they never done. You know what I mean? You're actually doing it now. So I think that makes your brand a little more valuable to clients that want to learn that stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's that's how I feel too. Like, because a lot of personal training, you can just do like an online thing and you get like a
Yeah.
certificate and then you train people. But like, like, like if I like all the things I need to learn to train people, like I do those things every day just because like I like fighting and stuff. So I feel like it works out perfect, and like I enjoy doing it. Like, when I train people, like I'm training them, and then they're like, "Oh, it's an hour," and I was like, "Oh, that was fast," and then it's done.
Yeah. Well, time flies when you're doing something you're passionate about. Well, it's a new year, and I'm sure you got new goals, long term and short term. For short term, like for this year, what would some of your goals be?
Um, I wrote it on my notes, I think, on my phone, but I wanna like obviously I wanna keep competing a lot, like in MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, everything, and there's a lot of like small goals, like things that are just like technical
Hmm.
with fighting. And I want to build my brand too. So like stuff like this, like a podcast is good.
Yeah,
Um, oh, I wanna later this year, I might go to like somewhere in the world for the world championships because when I fought in Idaho, Joe Stevenson ended up cornering me because I didn't really have a corner. And then me and him were like talking story, and he told me, "Oh, I'll put you on the IMAF World Championships team." So he told me we're gonna have tryouts for that like sometime this year, and if I win in the tournament, then I get put on the team, and
oh
I'll fly
nice.
to like wherever it is.
Oh, that's a good goal for the year. Long term,
Yeah.
big dreams. What is the big time goals and dreams that you have in this sport?
Oh, um, I wanna I wanna be known as like a martial artist, like not like a fighter, like or still like a fighter, but like a lot like a martial artist, like just the things that martial artists do. Like I want to be like respectful and like nice to people and not like talk smack and like make dramas and stuff. And like when people watch me fight, like I want it to look like art, like it's just like it's just like fluid like movements from different martial arts all in sequence, like jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing. Like I want it all to blend and like I want it to look like nice. Well, like fighting doesn't always look nice, but like nice and like beautiful, not just like brawling and stuff, because that's not really like
Yeah.
a lot of people that. And then a goal that I have is I want to build my brand so I can make like money so I can get a farm, and I want like fruits, animals, and like cows and stuff. So like when I wake up in the morning, like it would just be like the sun rising and there's just like fruit trees and like cows and like I could just hang out with my girlfriend. That would be cool.
That's awesome, bro, and that's a very mature answer. Most people ask is like, "Oh, I like be UFC champion. I like be the best in the world." It's like, bruh, that is such a adult, humble, pretty mature answer. You just want to be known as an artist, a complete martial artist that was humble and want to live your dreams with your girlfriend on a farm. Like that's to me, that's a lot more ambitious and yeah, that's very mature, bruh. That's a cool long-term goal and that's obtainable and everybody can say it. I'm sure you feel it like you want to be a UFC champion or a huge organization champion, but that's not your end goal. Your end goal is to be a full complete martial artist. And bruh, that's exactly what a real martial artist would say. That's props to you, man.
Yeah, I I feel like being the like I want to be like the best, but like I don't know if that's even like a thing because you always see people like they rise. I think everyone just has their time.
Yep.
Like they rise and everyone like, oh, this guy's the best. And like even on Instagram, like in the comments, they're like, oh, this guy's amazing. And then he gets knocked out. And then all
Yep.
of a sudden everybody hates him and they're like, oh, this guy sucks. And they make memes and like,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
yeah, and after watching that, it made me like, hey, like I don't really care what people like think and what they say because like if you do good, people will be like, "Oh, you're amazing," and then if you get knocked out, then a lot of people just disappear.
Yep,
And like
exactly.
so,
Recency bias.
yeah. So like
Yeah,
I would just want to stay close with the people that like I was always with, like my coaches, my family, and my
yeah.
friends and stuff.
And I did notice that about you. You're very humble. You don't think you're the shit. You just do your thing and have fun with it. But when you finished your fight, and this is a testament to your parents and their good parenting, but you went and shook every single person's hand and told them thank you for coming to watch you fight. And bruh, that to me was super cool. Like for you to go up to every single one, and you had a little team over there of people check watching you fight, but you personally thanked every single one of them, took pictures, and um that old aloha Hawaiian family values is instilled in you, and I think that's always a cool thing, and it was cool to see, especially one kid doing it. And yep, that's definitely a testament to good parenting. But you have that in you, man. It's something that not a lot of kids nowadays have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I kind of like I I kind of like cringe. Like I just like stop listening or whatever. I just walk away when like I see people win, and then they're like swearing, and they're like, "Oh," and what the heck? Like when I see them do that, I'm like, "Oh." When they watch the video later, they're probably gonna be like, "Bro, what was I doing?"
Yep, exactly. Um, growing up in around this sport, who were some of the fighters and kind of idols you had, or people that inspired you to want to do this? Like, what were the fighters that kind of you were like, oh, yep, these are like the guys that got you into it and like you were fans of, and now.
Um, when I was younger, my uncle them when they would come over to like drink with my dad and stuff, they would always talk about like their fights and stuff, and then like I would just be interested in one of my uncles, Uncle Keone. I remember when I was little, I'd always watch all his fights on YouTube, and I would just be like, oh, like just watching. And I always went through like phases of different fighters. And I remember my brother, I would always like go through phases of like, oh, like I want to be like this fighter, and then next week it would be like this guy, and then after a while, my brother noticed, and then I would be like, oh, this move, like Khabib does this move, and my brother would be like, oh, that's the fighter of the week, because he already like next week it would be a different guy.
Oh, so you're not necessarily fans of a particular fighter. You're fans of certain techniques they do then.
Yeah, and like the way they think, and just like the energy they give, like a lot of fighters, they have different like mindsets, and like they come from different places, and like I just go through different phases of fighters, and like every time I leave a phase, like I collect things from it, and then I
Yeah.
move on to another. I just keep collecting. But like, even though I always cycle through like choke different fighters, there's like one fighter that I always like. I always, I always go through different phases, but somehow I always end up going back to his phase. Like which is Khabib.
Oh yeah.
Like watch different fighters, and then like I always just end up going back to like watching his stuff like a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that guy. I was so happy when he pounded out Connor when he choked him out. I really didn't like Connor. I really liked Khabib, so I was happy, but I liked his mindset, his passion and his devotion to his dad as well as his team. And his philosophy is like it is so strict. And that guy's yeah, he I wish he kept fighting because I was such a fan, but bruh, that guy was remarkable. Like in my head, he's probably at least top three goats to ever do it. And yeah,
Yeah,
I always
yeah,
said the worst place on earth it would be under Khabib.
yeah. I like Khabib a lot too, and like even when I watch his training, a lot of fighters like if you watch their training, you see them doing like very like specific things with like a strength and conditioning coach or something, and they're like somewhere using like machines doing like very specific stuff. But when you watch Khabib, like all the things he does is like things that like fighters have always been doing, like hitting bag, like ground and pound, push ups, like just basic stuff. But he's like the best.
Yep.
So that like how basic he is.
Yeah, he's like you, he's super humble. He's super yeah, like he doesn't need all the glitz and glamour and all that trash talking and all that stuff. That's what I was to ask you. When you're fighting with anybody ever try to talk shit and like try to like get under your skin that way, or because I know you probably don't do it,
Uh,
but has anybody done it to you?
uh, no, not really. When I fought in kickboxing, like the I think like the most thing similar to that was like people just like at face offs, like they just get in your face and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think anybody ever talked to me.
That's kind of cool. And I think a lot of times you don't have to do that. Like you said, your art can speak for yourself. You don't gotta. And I always used to tell like our students like you don't gotta tell people you the baddest person or you're the best or whatever. If you the man, they're gonna already know. You don't need to tell them. They're gonna
Yeah,
already know. And like with you, your people are starting to take notice and a lot of people are starting to talk about you, and I'm glad you came on my show to help bring more eyes to your brand because I feel just as someone from the outside looking in that you had a huge potential with no cap in this sport, and it's going to be fun to see how far you take this because the passion you have is next level, and the work ethic you put behind the passion is what's going to get you there. So bruh, I'm excited to see what you do with this, man. And I'm excited to see your next fights. And because there's going to be a time that you're not going to fight in Hawaii anymore because you're going to be pro or in some organization that doesn't come here. So we got to eat it up as much as we can while you're still amateur.
I was um I was surprised too. Like I didn't know like there was as much people like watching me fight as like I don't know. I didn't think there was like as much people as there is. Cause like a lot of times like just when I go places, like people are like, "Oh, I watch your fight," and they're like, "Oh, good job," and then
Yeah.
oh, I was tripping out because I went to Jiu-Jitsu and it was Saturday. So it was like open mat and open mat finish. And then me and my coaches were like on the mat, just going over technique. And then this lady came in and she was like, "Oh, I seen your fight. You're so like nice and humble." And she was like, "Oh, can you sign my shoes?" And my coaches
Oh.
were like, yeah, my coaches were laughing. Like I signed lady's shoes and then she left. And my coaches and my teammates were all laughing. They're like, "Oh, oh, you're all famous now." And I was just like,
That's super cool, man. I don't think any kind of fame's gonna change you though. You're level-minded and down to earth. I think that's gonna be your greatest attribute in this sport because bruh, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna get crazy. The more popular you are, the bigger organizations you fight in. And I think your roots is gonna pull you through all that nonsense. Because
yeah,
there's martial arts and there's fighting and then there's the show. And between all three, you got to navigate it correctly. You know what I mean? And it can go any kind of direction. But I think
yeah.
it's gonna be fun to watch you, man. And yeah, I'm excited. You should be excited. I know your dad's excited. Yeah. Shoot, we've been going for an hour already. Where can people find you on social media, and also where can people kind of hit you up so that they can get personal training from you?
I have a Instagram. It's just Jasiah underscore Kamakele. And then if people want to do personal training, they can just like message me too on Instagram. I
Oh, right
started a
on.
YouTube channel because I was thinking like, oh, I gotta build my brand, but I still didn't post anything. But I'm gonna start posting stuff.
Oh, that's perfect. And also for your mom who's selling shrimp, um, she has a shrimp truck. Where can people find her at? Because people gotta know. Like Giovanni's ain't shit. They gotta go check her out.
Um, on Sundays we sell shrimp at Bellows. It's like a purple food truck, but we have an Instagram too. It's Ono Eats by Case, and you can message that because like most of the times we're there, but sometimes we have like family stuff or something.
Yeah, and yeah, go check that out. I promise you, the lily spicy lily koi shrimp for me, that's fire. If you check them out. You'll never go drive to Giovanni's again. And trust me, I'm putting my word on it because I believe in it. And rah, catering too. If you guys need catering for any kind of events, go hit up Ono Eats by Casey because yeah, it's next level. Um, and for us, as always, you can find us on Instagram, Above the Bridge Podcast, Above the Bridge Podcast on YouTube. Our website's atbpod.com. And my personal Instagram is Thaddy Daddy High. Personally, I got to know your parents through our daughters playing volleyball, and I've learned a lot from your parents just on parenting because of how you guys are as a family. And I see how you guys support, like when you guys all work the food truck or when your whole family comes to watch you fight or watch Zaisha play volleyball. It's um, something that I try to implement in my family, and I learned a lot by watching them. They're great parents, and they have good core family values, and they know how to have fun. Your parents know how to have fun. So I learned a lot by watching them and being friends with them. And yeah, shout out to them because as a son, I think they should be very proud of you and how you are and as a person. So I think yeah, they've been doing good. So I gotta hang out with them more and be a good parent like them. So shout outs to your parents, Jay and Casey. And your brother's gonna be a cop too, huh? Like he's just finishing the
Yeah,
academy. Oh, also,
yeah.
didn't you just get promoted for jiu-jitsu?
Oh yeah, yeah. I got my purple belt.
Yeah, congrats on that. It's
Thank
huge.
you.
And jiu-jitsu's a hard martial arts to get promoted, especially to get to a black belt level. It's decades of work. So anytime you get promoted, that's a huge thing. So congratulations to you, man. All
Thank you.
right. Well, we've been going for an hour. I appreciate you taking time out of your training to come chat with me. I can honestly say when you're UFC champion, you came on my show first. So when you're champion, you gotta come back on my show first before Ariel Hawani and ESPN and all that crap. Right, right on. We'll shock us for the cameras. We're out. Shout out to the Artist Group Network. Aloha.
Thank you.